Who would win in a fight, 100 men or one gorilla? We wanted to get the perspective of Shannon McFarland is the science director at the Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund, associate professor of anthropology at George Washington University.
I love talking about gorillas. It's actually an interesting question. And I think we'd be tempted to, at first, to say the gorilla would win because as the largest living primates on the planet, a silverback male gorilla in particular brings just a lot of power to that fight, right? They have tremendous upper body strength. They have really strong jaws, large, sharp canine teeth. So they'd probably do very well in a matchup against one human or maybe 10 humans. But humans also have other advantages, of course. So we are known for our endurance or our capacity to sustain activity for a long period of time compared to other mammals. And of course, we're also just really good at coordinating our behavior. So it would really come down to just the sheer numbers here. Don't get me wrong, I think there would be some very unlucky humans in this fight. But if the humans were being strategic, maybe taking turns or approaching the gorilla in waves, I think unfortunately over time the gorilla would probably get pretty tired and ultimately the humans would win out in that fight.
Do you find this a dumb thing to even talk about? I know it brings up the topic of gorillas, and my next question is a serious one for you, but did this amuse you this week?
It did amuse me, and I think it really, it goes back to that long-term fascination that we've had with gorillas. And I think it also brings us to this interesting contrast between how we think of gorillas as these ferocious animals that are often depicted in movies versus how gorillas actually are in the wild. And they're really much more like gentle giants, as we sometimes call them, than they are these ferocious animals that are depicted in humans have historically posed a threat to gorillas, although not in the way that we're talking about right now, in other much more serious ways. So through decades of habitat destruction, activities that lead to the degradation or the loss of the forest that the gorillas live in, through hunting and many other more serious risks to gorilla survival. And so as a result, today, gorillas as a whole, including most subspecies of gorillas, are considered critically endangered, which is really just one small step away from extinction. So the mountain gorillas that I've spent most of my time studying are represented today by only about 1,000 individuals remaining in the wild.
Wow.
So that's one of the things that I think excites me about this renewed fascination with gorillas is because it's coming at a time when we are facing the very real risk of losing this incredible animal from our planet.